And here is the Artist's Almanac for February 20th, 2018. It's the birthday of American photographer and environmentalist Ansel Adams, born in 1902 in San Francisco, California. Adams' family came to California from New England, having migrated from Ireland in the early 1700s. His grandfather founded a prosperous lumber business, which Adams' father eventually inherited. Later in life, Adams would condemn that industry for depleting the redwood forests. Adams had a famously crooked nose, the result of a fall during the Great San Francisco earthquake of 1906. Adams was shy and self-conscious about his nose and had problems in school. Dismissed from several schools for bad behavior, he was educated by private tutors and members of his family from the age of 12. Adams taught himself the piano, which would become his early passion, and at the age of 14, following a trip to Yosemite National Park, began experimenting with photography. Adams learned darkroom techniques and read photography magazines, attended camera club meetings, and went to photography and art exhibits. He developed and sold his early photographs at Best's Studio in Yosemite Valley, a business he would eventually own after marrying the young Virginia Rose Best, daughter of the owner. Adams' professional breakthrough followed the publication of his first portfolio, Parmelion, Prints of the High Sierras, which included his famous image, Monolith, the face of Half Dome. The portfolio was a success, leading to a number of commercial assignments. Between 1929 and 1942, Adams' work and reputation both developed. Adams expanded his repertoire, focusing on detailed close-ups as well as large forms from mountains to factories. He spent time in New Mexico with artists including Alfred Stieglitz, Georgia O'Keeffe, and Paul Strand, and began to publish essays and instructional books on photography. During this period, Adams also joined photographers Dorothea Lange and Walker Evans in their commitment to effecting social and political change through art, in documenting the internment of Japanese people during World War II, and photographing life in the camps for an essay on wartime injustice. Master photographer and conservationist Ansel Adams died in 1984 in Monterey, California. He was 82 years old. It's also the birthday of iconic American film director Robert Altman, born in Kansas City, Missouri in 1925. An unconventional and independent director, Altman's work emphasizes character and atmosphere over plot, in exploring themes of innocence, corruption, and survival. Perhaps his best-known film was his first and biggest commercial success, the anti-war comedy MASH of 1970. MASH was a phenomenal success. Released at the height of the Vietnam War, this brilliant black comedy was set during the Korean War, but transparently was a reflection of the more recent conflict. The performances by Elliott Gould and Donald Sutherland as the madcap surgeons Hawkeye and Trapper John, respectively, struck a chord with the American counterculture and their refusal to bow to authority. Altman's use of overlapping dialogue was a startling innovation at the time and became an Altman hallmark thereafter, and his cutting suddenly from bawdy slapstick to the shocking horrors of war disturbed the complacency of viewers in a way few Hollywood movies had ever done. Altman was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director, and the film was nominated for Best Picture. MASH put Altman in position to make the kind of films that he wanted to for a long time. Altman took his freeform narrative to another level in his 1975 film Nashville, a wildly inventive profile of some 24 characters who congregate in the city of Nashville over the course of a weekend, some to attend a political rally, some to break into the music business, and some for seemingly no real reason at all. Aided by Lily Tomlin, Ronnie Blakely, Karen Black, and Barbara Harris, Altman wove from diverse threads an impressionistic tapestry that somehow conveys the essence of the American dream. The film received near-unanimous accolades from critics, performed well commercially, and garnered a raft of Academy Award nominations, including for Best Picture and Best Director. At the end of the day, Altman was an outsider, and that was his greatest advantage. Not only was Altman untethered by rules, he plowed through them. Even those who have seen none of his films will have felt his impact. It resides most obviously in the work of Paul Thomas Anderson. Boogie Nights, Magnolia, and Inherent Vice are virtual cover versions of Altman. "I've stolen from Bob as best I can," admitted Anderson, who later dedicated "There Will Be Blood" to him. P.T. Anderson is my favorite director, and so is Wes Anderson, and so is Noah Baumbach, and so is Robert Altman. And in these days of endless sequels, one thing's for sure: not one of those guys ever made a movie to sell lunchboxes. Robert Altman, the grizzly bear genius of American cinema, died in 2006 in Los Angeles, California. He was 81 years old. Thanks for listening. Be kind, do good work, and until next time.